Well, my name is Kelly Wynn. I'm married to Thomas Wynn, who's a wonderful father to our three daughters, Avery and Alexa and Audrey. I was blessed to be raised in a very faithful home. My parents did a fantastic job building my faith and teaching me. And so at around age 12, it was really easy for me to make the decision to get baptized, and I did. And being the typical pastor and father, my dad still sat me down and had a good heart-to-heart talk for an hour about what it meant to make sure that I fully understood what I was doing. My life got turned upside down, as did my parents' life, and my brother's, and we had many changes that came upon us that we had no choice. During that time, I got very angry with God, angry with the church, angry with other Christians. I let my anger convince me that God didn't really truly love me. And how could he have let these kinds of things happen to me, my parents? But the thing that never seemed to come was joy, or a true feeling of love in my life. And it was as if I was searching for it in all the wrong places. But I kept repeating these actions. And eventually I got married, and my husband at the time and I got pregnant. And everything went well at first, and we had no problems. And during this time as well, I'm trying to get back into faith and build my faith. And then right towards the very end was the time that the baby stopped growing. And they told me that the baby may be missing some fingers. I was also informed that there was a very high chance that my baby was a Down syndrome baby on the day that they were going to induce me. At that point, I decided I'm going to put all my trust in God, and knowing that God can do the impossible. I did go through another rough time, through a divorce, and I kept to my faith. And I remember thinking one day, after that rough time had gone, I remember praying, and I said, God, at this point in my life, you have done so much for me that I am just happy to raise these girls to know you. I met Thomas, and he brought in a whole new aspect of faith into my life. An aspect that even though I had the knowledge of it, it was as if I truly didn't understand it, and that was love and forgiveness. And through him, I saw somebody who could show an amazing amount of love, and also an amazing amount of forgiveness. It's humbling at times, but it's also been a good experience, and it's also been good because we're learning how to communicate better, and he also does hear what I have to say, and and he takes it into account. He doesn't ignore it.
No, you've opened up my thoughts and processes, and again, I've always approached things with how is it most efficient, how is it very analytical, and what's going to be the best steps. But you've added an element of emotion to it, of love, and of these girls need more than just the analytic side of it. That there's emotions and crying. And one of the things I learned in our time here at Crossroads about how to be a couple, how to be a husband, really does honor your wife. She's become very important to me, and as a mother and as a wife, and I watch that, and she's a great mom, and she's a great wife, and when we struggle through these things, it's important that we remind each other that this is part of God's plans. How do you know faith? How do you practice it? Or one of those questions, and it was belief, it was love, it was obedience. And I've always had a hard time with obedience.
Yes, he does.
I rebel against it. I fight. I try to find a way around it, and that's why I always question: am I good enough to be in this relationship? Am I good enough of a dad? Am I good enough of a husband?
It truly has been inspiring and joyful time to see what God has done in each one of our lives, and what he has done to connect us, to help us grow together in faith, and then pass that on to the girls.